during the political unrest in Zamboanga at the Philippines that September, Talon National High School was located closest to Ground Zero. After the riots broke out, the school became the first place to shelter disaster survivors. As 3 of the buildings were occupied by evacuees, students' classes continue on the sports field instead. Not wanting students to continue their learning in such a harsh environment, Tzu volunteers decided to install temporary prefabricated classrooms.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Early morning, Tzu volunteers are already assembling prefabricated classrooms at the Talon Elementary School.
If we didn't come and install these classrooms for them, they wouldn't have sufficient classroom space. So the faster we complete them, the sooner they can resume classes.
A total of 25 volunteers and 5 cash for work participants were mobilized to help. Standing out from the rest was this group of female volunteers who all worked swiftly despite their petite physique.
We don't have many male volunteers in Zamboanga, so we have already gotten enough training. We usually help with carrying the items. Sometimes we get cramps in our lower back, but we feel better once we've taken a rest, so it's not too difficult for us.
Assembling temporary classrooms is not difficult, but rather it is the need for physical strength that poses a bigger challenge.
Our whole body gets sore, of course, but we have to persevere in order to complete these classrooms.
Not wanting the children to endure any more hardship, these volunteers are all willing to do what is necessary.
Well, Master said like Pucci, time is really short, and we have to maximize whatever time we have. We have to maximize whatever time the volunteer has.
5 months after the riots in Zamboanga, Tzu volunteers raced against time to bring normalcy back into these students' lives.
Thank you.
Tzu volunteers proudly waved the Tzu flag, followed by an exhilarating lion and dragon dance performance. This joyous atmosphere marks the start of the Talon National High School handover ceremony.
Our classrooms have been used to shelter them. At an early age, we all experienced the pain and difficulty. But we stood up and went back to school again, not knowing what the school has for us. Crowded, noisy, dusty covered court sheltered us when the classes resumed.
Teachers put on a performance to reenact the terror of the Civil War, to remind students never to give up in face of adversity.
The temporary classrooms and also our year-end ceremonies. For the first time, we're doing it outside of our Tzu Eye Center.
What has the students all smiles? Tzu volunteers not only brought red envelopes, but also stationery and school bags for each student. Students and teachers gift volunteers with a handmade model of their classroom to show their thanks to the volunteers as well as the love of Tzu members from around the world.
But with these donations coming from the Tzu Foundation, so teacher will be able to concentrate and teach the lessons well. Because the G7 will be occupying already, they will have their own learning area. So thank you so much sa Tzu Foundation.
After the completion of the classrooms, volunteers also gifted blackboards and chalk to the school.
Looking at the smiles of everyone makes it all worthwhile. They say that the most beautiful smile is the smile of your recipients. As long as they study hard, and come to school every day, and then it's worthwhile.
Plans are underway to further assist 7 schools with the installation of 64 prefab classrooms. The genuine smiles of the children are the volunteers' greatest source of encouragement as they continue this relay of love in the days ahead.